being present, I call this meeting to order. I note for the record, this meeting was properly advertised in accordance with the Sunshine Law. By way of further notice, the commission conducted an executive session this morning to engage in quasi-judicial deliberations to be adjudicated at this public meeting, as well as certain other legal matters. Item 1 is approval of the September 16th, 2025 special meeting minutes for our work session. Does anyone have any changes or revisions? Not hearing anyone, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Brenheiser, second by Commissioner Rogers. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Not hearing any opposed, that motion passes. Item number 2 is approval of September 30th, 2025 meeting minutes. Are there any changes or revisions? Not hearing any, is there a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
So moved, Commissioner Lark.
Commissioner Ruddy on the motion, Commissioner Lark on the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Tom, you want to do the racing fund September?
Sure. We're starting out with the racing fund. As of September 30th, the beginning cash balance was $256,363. Revenue for the month was $872,009. You'll note, due to the budget impasse, there is no testing revenue. There is no promotional revenue. On the expense side, total expenditures were $1,961,755, leaving an ending cash balance of a negative $833,383. I'll touch on that in just a second. Moving on to the expenditure, or to the commission, total revenue was $872. Personnel costs were $519. Total operating costs were $59,000, leaving total expenditures at $578,891. On to testing. There were no racehorse development transfers due to the budget impasse. Personnel costs were $504,488. Total operating was $838 for total expenditures of $1,342,576. One quick note, if you go to UPenn, the $820,000 is an invoice from July. That invoice has been encumbered, which means it's scheduled to be paid. It has not been paid. The reason it has not been paid is multiple reasons. One, the sunset provision, which gives us a statutory authority to draw money from the racehorse development. Secondly, there is no budget. Third, there's no fiscal code. And fourth, staff hasn't approved it. So they've encumbered it, but it isn't paid, which dramatically affects the front page of the negative 833, which takes that in. You're basically at a zero balance right now for September 30th, but that hasn't been paid. And I'll talk a little bit later about petrol and so on. So just an FYI. Promotions, there is no transfer of the Racehorse Development Trust Fund because of the budget impasse. The advertising is $32,586. That's money that came out of June for marketing for the fairs. That was funds that we had from last year. On the comparative, comparing September 30th, 2025 to September 30th, 2024, total revenue is $3,578,000 versus last year of $5,045,000. Clearly evident with no transfers, you're going to see a 30%, 29% decline. The personnel costs are 3.6 versus 3.3, about 300,000 increase, and that is basically been attributed to the raises that the Commonwealth gave that applied to everybody. Total operating costs are $2,173,000 versus $2,171,000, basically flat year over year. Total expenditures 5.7, almost 5.8 million versus 5.5, about a 6% increase. The last three funds are the restricted funds for the thoroughbred breeders, standardbred breeders, and the sire stakes. You'll notice on these funds, revenues continue to come in from the Racehorse Development Trust Fund. That's the financial report. Mr. Chair, any questions?
All right, not hearing any. We want to go to the HISA update.
HISA update. As far as HISA goes, the assessments and the credits for 2025 were finalized. The tracks and the horsemen on the thoroughbred side have been advised. The sheets that were distributed to the tracks, staff here negotiated with HISA and HIWU to receive additional credits for Parks and Penn, no additional credits for PID. The reason CDI, Churchill's in a lawsuit with HISA, so there was no additional credits for that. We finalized the credits. George has taken the IGA for 2025, which is basically for the test barn and the vets, and the LSA, which is lab services, sent it to HISA and HIWU for their signature and review and signature. Once we get that back, we'll send it to OGC and the Attorney General. And I assume we're going to set the current extension expires on November 4th. We're looking to extend to the end of the year. Any questions on the HISA update? Moving on, Mr. Chairman, on the petrol suspension update, 2 issues. The suspension is still in place. There was an initial set of responses to the deficiencies sent about 4 weeks ago from petrol to HIWU. HIWU reviewed that, sent additional questions back to petrol. Petrol yesterday responded to those questions and sent it back. One thing I want to put out, because we've talked about this in the past about how the payment works, because with petrol shut down on the thoroughbred forensic testing and industrial doing it, you're obviously aware there is no per sample cost. That's not how it works. The lab at petrol is basically the commission lab. So if you remember back in September, you approved personnel costs, you approved operational costs, and so on. So everyone's clear. In September for 25-26, this commission approved spending authority of $7,519,000. Actual spend for 24-25 was $6.9 million. The projected, working with Dr. Robinson, Tony, and I, that for 25-26, the projected cost will be $5.9 million, which is $1 million decline in what this commission out of the Racehorse Development Trust Fund has paid petrol. We've been told by HISA that industrial will charge about $900,000. So that money that was reduced by petrol will go to pay industrial. And the suspension is scheduled to run through the beginning of the year. We'll keep everyone apprised on what happens between HIWU and petrol.
Thank you, Tom. And before we get to administrative actions, I think on behalf of the commission, I want to thank you and George for your work with HISA and the credits. We know that was not easy.
Thank you.
Pulling teeth, but that's very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Moving to administrative actions, item number 6.
Commission, we need a motion to approve the simulcast calendars for November 2025 for the standardbred racetracks. That would be Harris, Philadelphia, Mohegan Sun, Pocono, and the Meadows.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
So it's moved by Commissioner Brenheiser and
Absolutely.
seconded by Commissioner Hoffman. As all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Move to number 7.
Next motion, Mr. Chairman, motion to approve the simulcast calendars for November 2025 for the thoroughbred racetracks, Parks, Penn National, and Presque Isle Downs.
Oh, yeah.
Makes
Oh, yeah.
sense, a motion.
Okay, that
No, I
was
agree.
Commissioner DeBunda on the motion. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner
Second.
Rogers.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give Marguerite a call. Thanks.
Okay, go ahead.
Right.
It's
I-
not-
Or something that
amended at
we've
one
already
time.
sent.
Okay, all in favor of the motion to approve the simulcast calendars?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, motion passes. Let's move to number 8.
8, as we've tabled this motion in the past, we now need a motion to approve the second amendment to the 2025 intergovernmental agreement and the lab services agreement between ISA, HIWU, and the commission.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
And that was Commissioner Sweeney. Is there a
Correct.
second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Ruddy. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So now we'll go to licensing and adjudications. George?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This matter comes before the State Horse Racing Commission pursuant to appeals filed by owner and trainer Virgil Addison of ruling numbers 20. Board of Judges at Harris, Philadelphia. In each of the 3 rulings, the Board of Judges found that appellant's horse, Grateful Kiss, tested positive for ADB fubinaca, a prohibited synthetic cannabinoid, which has no medical use in horses, and it is illegal to possess in the United States. The horse Grateful Kiss won 3 races in July and August of 2024 and tested positive. The Board of Judges ordered the purses be returned and imposed 3 $10,000 fines and 3 consecutive 365-day suspensions as a result of the illegal drugs. Appellant timely filed his appeal to the board, to the commission on November 13th, 2024. The commission granted the hearing request and deemed the supersedious as moot. On January 24th, 2025, this matter was assigned to a hearing officer from the Office of Hearing Examiners. A hearing was initially scheduled for February 27th, 2025, but was continued until May 22nd, 2025. The 3 appeals were formally consolidated for purposes of the hearing only. After the hearing and several extensions later, the parties filed their briefs on August 29th, 2025 and September 5th, 2025. The commission has now had the opportunity to review the hearing transcript, the documentary evidence, and expert testimony presented, and the proposed draft adjudication. The Office of Chief Counsel recommends the following order. And now this 28th day of October, 2025, in consideration of the evidentiary record in this matter, it is hereby ordered that the judge's ruling at numbers 20078 CD, 2079 CD, and 2492 CD are hereby each affirmed in all respects. And that could be done as a motion.
Okay. Are there any questions on this appeal? Not hearing any. Is there a motion to approve the order as our counsel has stated it? Someone want to make a motion?
Sweeney.
Okay, a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Sweeney, second by, I think it was Commissioner Lark.
Commissioner Jones.
Commissioner Jones. Commissioner Jones. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. George, you want to go into the licensing matters?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Just for the record, the Director of Licensing has reviewed all of the various annual license renewals for racing vendors, tow companies, and SPMO companies, and these matters are all presently before this commission. In order to expedite matters and not strain my vocal cords, I won't read all of the various orders. I will read one racing vendor license order, which will be applicable to the listed entities under racing vendors 1 through 13. And then I will read the tote company and ask for a motion for those. And then I will do the same thing for the tow companies and the SPMOs. So as to the racing vendors, and now this 28th day of October 2025, pursuant to Section 9351B1 of the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above racing vendor entity is seeking to renew its license to provide goods and services to a licensed racing entity directly related to racing or the racing product. Pursuant to Section 9358 of the Act, a racing vendor license is valid for a period of 1 year commencing January 1st, 2026. In accordance with the statutory and regulatory authority, the Commission has reviewed the submitted renewal application and the pertinent information from the racing vendor, including any subsequent changes from its previously approved license application. Based upon the Commission's review and consideration, it is ordered that the above referenced racing vendor license renewal application is hereby granted for the year 2026. It is further ordered that the Commission's approval is issued upon the ongoing general condition of compliance set forth in the Act and with the following specific conditions. Number one, the racing vendor shall provide the Commission with written notice of any modification, changes, or amendments to the racing agreement, to the vendor agreement as submitted and approved by the Commission no later than 15 business days after such change or amendment. Number two, the racing vendor shall provide the Commission written notification of the election to terminate or not renew the vendor agreement no later than 15 business days after such a prior approval of the Commission, and that can be issued as a motion.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the racing vendors license renewals 2025-01 through 2025-13? Motion by Commissioner Hopper and a second by Commissioner Ruddy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Has to be
And
one.
Mark me down is recused from 2025-02.
That's ODS Technologies, correct?
That is, yes, sir.
Thanks. One abstention. All right, thank you.
We go to the totes.
Yes. This relates to tote companies 25, the docket numbers are 2025-14 through 16. And now this 28th day of October, 2025, pursuant to section 9351B1 of the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above totalizator entity is seeking to renew its license to utilize a computer system used to pool wagers, record sales, calculate payoffs, and display wagering data on a display device that is located at a pari-mutuel racetrack facility or non-primary location. Pursuant to section 9358, this tote license is valid for a period of 1 year, commencing January 1st, 2026. In accordance with the statutory and regulatory authority, the Commission has reviewed the submitted renewal application and the pertinent information from the tote entity, including any subsequent changes from its previously approved license application. Based upon the Commission's review and consideration, it is ordered that the above referenced totalizator license renewal application is hereby granted for the year 2026. It is further ordered that the Commission's approval is issued upon the ongoing general conditions of compliance set forth in the Act and with the following specific conditions. The totalizator shall provide the Commission with written notice of any modifications, changes, or amendments to the tote agreement as submitted and approved by the Commission no later than 15 business days after such modification, change, or amendment. Number two, the totalizator shall provide the Commission written notification of the election to terminate or not renew the tote agreement no later than 15 business days after such election. And finally, number three, the totalizator's license may not be conveyed, assigned, or transferred to any other person or third party without the prior approval of the Commission. And that may be done as a motion.
Okay, excuse me. Is there a motion on the tote company's license renewals 2025-14 through 2025-16?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Brennheiser, second by Commissioner Rogers. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. And George, and go to the SPMOs. And before we do that, the recusal I did on 2025-02, I'd like to take back to be
Okay,
wrong company.
wrong company. Okay. So the record reflects that you did not.
I did not recuse
Okay,
myself.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. As to the SPMO companies and the license renewal, that would be 2025-23 and 24. Accordingly, the following order. And now this 28th day of October, 2025, in accordance with sections 9322 and 9351B2 of the Racehorse Industry Reform Act, the above applicant is seeking to renew its secondary pari-mutuel racing organization license to conduct advanced deposit wagering in Pennsylvania. Pursuant to section 9358, This SPMO license is valid for a period of 1 year, commencing retroactively from January 1st, 2026. In accordance with the statutory regulatory authority, the Commission has reviewed the submitted renewal application and the pertinent information from SPMO, including any subsequent changes from its previously approved license application. Based upon the Commission's review and consideration, it is ordered that the above referenced SPMO license renewal application is hereby granted for the year 2026. Such approval is issued upon the general conditions of compliance set forth in the Act and with the following specific conditions. Number one, the SPMO will continue to comply with all SPMO operational provisions and Commission orders, tax obligations, horseman's purse contribution obligations, and the license renewal provisions set forth in the Racing Act. Number two, the SPMO shall provide the Commission with written notification of any modifications, changes, or amendments to its SPMO renewal application as submitted and approved by the Commission. Number three, the SPMO shall provide the Commission written notification of the election to terminate or modify operations within the Commonwealth no later than 15 business days after such election. And finally, number four, the SPMO understands that its license may not be conveyed, assigned, or transferred to any person or third party without prior approval of the Commission. And that may be done as an order.
Is there a motion for the approval of license renewals for the SPMO companies for 2025-23 and 2025-24? Is there a motion? So moved by Commissioner Ruddy, second by Commissioner Rogers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes, and I do recuse myself on 2025-24. That is Points Bet Racing.
Thank you, Chairman. That's all I have.
Okay, we'll go to industry reports, Tony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a reminder, everybody online, please state and spell your name for the benefit of the court reporter in the room. We'll start off with the Meadows, and I believe Chris Mackerlane, Vice President of Racing for Penn Entertainment, is going to give the Meadows report. Chris, are you on?
I am, Tony. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. Chris Mackerlane, MCERLEAN, Penn Entertainment, Hollywood Casino at the Meadows. Just a couple quick updates. We are hopefully getting close to finalizing our 2026 racing calendar for the track. We've been in discussions with the MSOA. I've had some good discussions on that, and I think we're pretty close to finalizing that for submission to the Commission. Also, we are making an offer to an individual for our Director of Racing position before the end of this week, and hopefully once that's all signed, sealed, delivered, we'll be able to announce that publicly for the industry. But we're hopeful that that will be done in short order and have that individual on property soon to get into the swing of things at the Meadows.
Okay.
That's it, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Chris. We'll go to Mike Zollinger from Pocono Downs. Mike.
Thank you, Tony. Commissioners, it's Mike, M-I-K-E, Zollinger, Z-U-L-L-I-N-G-E-R. Not much to report this month. As the air gets crisp and cold here in Northeast PA, we're winding down our racing season. We have 10 more live days to go. Our last day is Saturday, November 22nd this year. And other than that, just getting things ready for next season. That's all. Thanks, Tony.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Barry Brown from Harris. Barry.
Thanks, Tony. Barry Brown, B-A-R-R-Y, B-R-O-W-N, Director of Racing Operations, Harris, Philadelphia. We got back into action after the break that we had the first 10 days of October. We're back to our normal schedule. Looking forward to hopefully a big non-weather impacted weekend coming up with the Breeders' Cup. And our racing season will extend through New Year's Eve as it has the last few years. That's my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barry. Joe Wilson from Parks. Joe?
Yeah, thank you, Tony. This is David Osagenak Osajanak, Parks Director of Racing, DAVID, last name OSOJNAK. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Tony. On Tuesday, October 21st, we held our annual Parks Hall of Fame Day. We had a great luncheon, which many attended, and we had 3 new people, entities, or horses entered the Parks Hall of Fame. Cash is King LLC owner is Chuck Zachney, joined the Hall of Fame in the owner category. Ed Simon, longtime controller of the PTHA, entered the Hall of Fame as special achievement category for his many years of dedicated service to the PTHA. And the horse Favorite Tail entered the Hall of Fame as a thoroughbred runner. This Saturday, November 1st, we will have a special Breeders' Cup Saturday card. We have 8 races, which are spread out, and should be, hopefully, it looks like we're having nice weather and should be a good turnout. And let's see, what else? And then the final thing is on Monday, November 3rd, in conjunction with turning back the clocks this weekend, this Sunday, our post time will be changing from 12:40, which it currently is at, to 12:05 p.m. Upcoming in November, we're going to be taking nominations for, I believe, 5 stakes that we're going to have on Thanksgiving week. And that's what we'll be working on for the next couple of weeks. And that's all to report. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, David.
All right, David, it's Commissioner Jones calling. Could you give us
Yes.
any kind of update on the reconstruction of the turf course?
Yes, Commissioner. Unfortunately, I'm not in discussions regarding the turf course. That would be more addressed to Joe Wilson. I guess maybe he's in discussions with the PTHA regarding the turf course. But I will mention something to Joe, and maybe he can address it at next month's meeting.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, not a problem, Commissioner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving forward, we'll go to Scott Lishla at Penn National. I'm gonna have to get used to saying that now, but Scott, are you on?
I am. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Commissioners. Scott Lisha, LI, S as in Sam, HIA. Here at Penn National, I'm just kind of getting settled in. We are back racing 2 nights a week, Wednesdays and Thursdays. We had our first cards this past week. We were doing some testing this morning. We are installing a wireless speaker system in the stable area. Initial tests went well, so we're getting the speakers hung and everything, and hopefully should have that up and operational very shortly. We also have had some conversations with the HPPA and are working on dates and hopefully have something nailed down here very shortly that we'll be able to submit to the commission in a timely manner for review. And other than that, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Matt Ennis from Presque Isle. Matt.
Matthew Ennis, MATTHEW, last name ENNIS, Senior Director of Operations here at Presque Isle Downs. We wrapped up our 2025 season last Thursday, the 23rd. Our last day of training is this Thursday, the 30th, with our backside closing on the 31st, Halloween. Very pleased to report that we had year-over-year results of our overall handle being up 12%. So we're buttoning things up here at Presque Isle, bracing for the snow, and we'll be reopening in the March-April timeframe of next year. So thank you, Commission.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Sam Beagle, PHHA.
Yeah. Beagle, BEEGLE. We had the fair stakes at the beginning of October. It was a very nice day. In fact, it was a horrible day. But the fair guys said that that was probably the best track they raced on this year. And we're racing the Simpson Stakes right now at Poconos, and the Liberty Bell Stakes start next week at Chester. That's about the highlight of us right now.
Okay, thank you, Sam. Donnell Mock from the MSOA. Donnell.
Hi, thank you. Donnell Mock, DAWNELLEMOCK. We had a really nice pink out this month. We had a great turnout for the corgi races and the horse races, so it was a nice night with nice weather. And we're just gearing up for Caretakers Day on November 19th with the Pennsylvania Horse Racing Association. So we're going to be doing free lunch for our caretakers. We're going to have some raffle giveaways and then giving out the hoodies and hats. So looking forward to that. But that's pretty much it from here.
And you won't have Scott stealing your thunder anymore. He kinda
I know.
takes away, so there you go. All right, thanks, Donnell.
Thank you.
Todd Mosteller from the HBPA. Todd, are you on?
He's at Delmar.
He's at Delmar. He's not going to join us. Jeff Matty from the PTHA. Jeff, are you at Delmar too? He may be. How about Mike or Jim Simpson from the Standardbred Breeders?
Yeah, this is Mike Simpson, MikeSimpS. So in less than a week, the annual Standardbred yearling and mixed sale is going to be held at the Farm Show Complex. It's going to be from November 3rd through the 7th. The details are on the blackbook.com website, so feel free to stop by and check it out.
Okay, thank you, Mike. And Brian, you're up.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. If you look at your handout, the slide of Brian, B-R-I-A-N, Sanfratello, S-A-N-F-R-A-T-E-L-L-O. First page, the slot revenue transfers to the breeding fund through September are up 1.4 million. The overpayment is approximately 300,000 because of the lack of a budget. So we're still up about 1.1 million or so. We finished up our PA sired, PA bred stallion series with the 2 3-year-old races on PA day at the races. And you'll see on the second page, the final point totals for the series. We paid a $50,000 in bonuses to breeders at the end of the series with the horses with the highest point totals. That money was collected from nomination fees for the series. And you'll see in first place was Honorable Win. Second place, which was Peter Stable. Second place was Carousel Queen. And the third place was a tie between Really and Dealin' and the Boys Warrior. Second place received $15,000 and third place was split $5,000 each. We're currently working on the 2026 Stallion and Boarding Farm Directory. Cloud computing will be on the cover of the directory. That directory will be online towards the end of November. There will also be a glue tip on the Blood Horse, the December Blood Horse, with a QR code. If you scan that glue tip, you'll be able to go right to the directory. And lastly, the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred is attached, which goes over the 2025 PA Day at the races. Was a fantastic day. We had 11 races. We paid out over $1 million in purses and awards. And we had about, I think probably about 375 breeders and friends show up there. And it was the day before the PA Derby, which also was a fantastic day.
One more item. I know last month at the end of the commission meeting, I mentioned about the fingerprint machines and we were hoping to have them up and running and installed. And I'll just give everybody an update. Nicole has been at the tracks, but pretty much the last 2 weeks overseeing the installation and the training of the machines. And I think, are we all?
They're all installed.
all installed.
Yes.
So congratulations, Nicole. So that was a job well done to get that done. So thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Is there any comments from the board before we adjourn? Before adjourning, our next meeting is Tuesday, November 25th, pre-Thanksgiving. Maybe we'll be thanking for a state budget. Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Commissioner Ruddy, seconded by Commissioner Brenheim. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, see you next month.
Are you gonna?